He caused all this controversy to try to get traded. He badmouthed the coach. He badmouthed the quarterback. He badmouthed the general manager. Never played it down and then got cut. If you just stick to the football field, he's a Steeler legend. That 6-year stretch that he had is literally unmatched. If you had Antonio Brown on your fantasy league team, he led you to fantasy league football victories. Him by himself. Does he deserve to have his number retired? Absolutely not. You can't be bad-mouthing your quarterback like that. He burned every bridge that Pittsburgh has, and there's a whole bunch of bridges in Pittsburgh, but is he still a Steeler legend based on what he did on the field? 100% absolutely.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. What is going on, everybody? We are live again, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central Time. We are live. Please, everybody, thank you guys for showing up. We got a lot to cover today. It's a good weekend of sports, good weekend of some information that came out. So, what is going on? First, the Celtics put the clamps on the Mavs again. Kyrie Irving, is he going to show up? I mean, he's not showing up, and that's costing now. We'll get into the logistics of it, but that's costing the Mavs. And then Dan Hurley got a big decision. He said he's making his decision today. We'll get into whether he should go to the Lakers, whether he should stay. And then Cailtin Clark getting left off the Olympic team. People are absolutely losing their minds on both sides of it. We'll talk about both of it both ways. So we got a lot to cover today. Again, thank you guys for showing up to Big B Daily. If you happen to be on one certain platform, I'm looking right at you. If you don't want to get cut off, do yourself a favor. Click on the link in the bio. Come on over. There's a live link in the bio where it will not freeze up on you. So make sure you do that. If you want to help support the show, like what we're doing, make sure that you take a look at following, subscribing, sharing the live. But more importantly, if you want to help support the show, you can always send a super chat, a gift, tip, whatever the case may be. Keep tapping the screen. We want to get as many likes as possible. And if you're not following, please make sure you follow. So, quick question and a quick shout out. Somebody said, what Steelers podcast do you go to? Steelers Almighty is a brand new podcast, been out about 7 weeks. It just happens to be my podcast. So that is the Steelers podcast that I go to. You can find it anywhere that you get a podcast, also on YouTube. So make sure you check it out. It's also on TikTok. Go make sure you go like, follow, and subscribe. So let's get into this, man. So the Celtics, look, the path for them or for the Mavs to win, it's tough. But if Kyrie Irving doesn't show up, how are they supposed to win? I mean, let's just talk about it. How are they supposed to win? So, and they can't win. Like, the Celtics came up with the greatest defensive plan that I have seen so far against the Mavs. They have the ability to switch these pick and rolls because they know that the Mavs big guys are not basketball. They don't use them on the offensive end to play basketball. All they use them for is screeners. They're not going to give them the ball. I'm not even sure that they can go and score. Although that you did see Gabbard score a couple of points down low when they gave him opportunities. I think they've got to do more of that. I'm trying to tell people that you can still use a big man in the post. And if Jason Tatum is going to guard him, because that's what the Celtics have chosen to do. They've chosen to use Jason Tatum to guard Gabbard because, hey, when he comes and sets the screen, we got Tatum there to guard him. Well, you would say, okay, well, what about when Porzingis or Al Horford? Well, okay, that's fine. When they're out on the court, yes, you can do that. But at the same time, their guy, Jones is a non-factor. Like, he can't score. He doesn't bring you anything offensively to the table. So they don't mind switching, blitzing. They'll leave him wide open because he can't do anything offensively to help you. So that's a problem. So I don't know what the Mavs counter is other than to put Tim Hardaway Jr. in the game and say, okay, this guy can make shots. I think Jason Kidd's got to go to that and say, we're going to give up some offense or give up some defense to get some offense. I think that's the move he has to make. And the reason being is because if he doesn't do that, they can't win a game in this series. Not much win the series. The Celtics are going to win the series. The Mavs won't win a game if Jason Kidd doesn't make a offensive adjustment. It's not defensive adjustment. Look, Jones isn't doing anything to slow Tatum down. Tatum just missed a bunch of shots last night. Okay? They were open looks, missing layups. He just missed. They were open looks. He just missed the shots. So Jones isn't shutting him down. Because if he makes half of those shots or even 41%, the game's a blowout, by the way. So think about that for a second. If Tatum shoots 41%, they blow the Mavs out. Jones brings you nothing. He's doing nothing. So then why is he even on the court? I don't understand it, people. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why he's out there. Jason Kidd's got to make an adjustment, man. You got to make an adjustment. So it's just that simple. You got to get Tim. Look, Tim Hardaway Jr. hadn't played in a long time. He's not hurt. You got to get him out on the court because I get it. How you got to this position is because your team has played a ton of defense. But at this point in time, that defense isn't helping you. You got to be able to score some points, and you can't do it because Boston's got those kind of defenders, and they are leaving this man wide open. You basically are playing 3-on-5 on the offensive end. You can't win that way. They're not going to win that way. So that's just the facts of the matter right now. I'm sorry. They got to do something different. They got to do something different, you know. And like I said, if Jason Tatum just shoots 40% last night, that game's a damn blowout. A blowout. Keep that in mind. He shot terrible. The Celtics were trying to give them the game. They shot terrible from the field. They shot terrible from three. They were trying, hey, Mavs, this is the game you guys can win. You know how we always give everybody a game in a series? Well, this is the game. The Celtics said, hold my beer, man. We don't want this. We're going to turn it over. We're going to miss a bunch of free throws. Kyrie's going to not show up at all. We have nothing else on the offensive end. Luka just turning the ball over constantly. He had a good first half, but the second half he didn't do anything but turn the ball over. It was sickening. Like I said, it's in my opinion, I didn't think the Mavs were going to win the series anyway, but I don't think they're going to win a game. If they don't make an adjustment, they're not going to win a game. So it's ugly. It's ugly. Let's go to some comments here. My man Mo Talk Sports says, Big B, I watched the first quarter, and Luka was giving his all, and they were barely winning. I was like, Luka needs some help. Absolutely. What, Kyrie Irving, where are you at? Now, look, Boston is doing a good job. Their length is giving them problems. You know, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. They're giving Kyrie fits. They're giving him fits. But he's gotten free for shots. He's not making them. Got to get some shots. Got to make some shots. All those role players, PJ Washington and Jones, they were making threes. They were making shots leading up to this moment. I made a comment, was talking to somebody earlier this morning. I said, maybe the moment's too big for them. Maybe the moment is just too big that they can't do anything. Kristaps Porzingis is doing his thing. And again, what did he play? Half the game? Like, he was hurt. He got hurt. You know? And he was cooking again. He was doing his thing again on both ends of the court. It's just a mismatch. It's not. It's ugly. It's ugly. Now, game 3, you're going to get that boost from being at home. The Mavs are going to get that. The role players are going to play better. But isn't Jason Tatum also going to play better? I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, the Mavs are going to get that boost, but isn't Jason Tatum also going to play better? Now, you're not going to get Drew Holiday shooting 25 points, 10 rebounds, and shooting over 75% from the field. You're not going to get that again. But I think you're going to replace that with better numbers from Jason Tatum. And it's not like Drew Holiday is going to score no points. He's going to do something. People are talking about a sweep. Yeah. I fought that. I fought it. But like I said, if there's not an adjustment made, then it is what it is. It is what it is. If there's not an adjustment made by Jason Kidd that says, we got to put Tim Hardaway Jr. in the lineup, we got to get some offense. I know he doesn't give you anything defensively, but it doesn't matter. You can't win if you can't. You can't get over 100 points. You're not winning. And they didn't get over 100 points. You're not winning. I'm sorry. It's not happening. And the game was close last night. It was. It was a close game. And don't give me the whole P.J. Washington foul call on the dunk. Yes, it was a foul. Brown pushed him in the back. People are saying, well, he got blocked by the rim. Yeah, he got blocked by the rim because he got pushed in the back. Up top was clean as a whistle, but he got pushed in the back. It was a foul. Boston's winning that game anyway, people. Stop it. Stop. That was not the reason they lost. The reason they lost, because Kyrie Irving can't get anything going, because they turned the ball over a million times, because they missed 8 free throws. That's why you lost the game, not on a foul call. You don't turn the ball over, cut the turnovers in half, make 5 more free throws. Guess what? You win. Like I said, that was the game that Boston was trying to give to them. You all know how Boston does. They try to give you a game. They want to give you a game. You won't take it. So it was, like I said, I love what the Mavs have done up to this point. It's got to be an adjustment. Like Jason Kidd got to make that adjustment. He's got to just say, okay, we're giving up this defense. I got to get some offense. Insert Tim Hardaway into the starting lineup, man. You got to do it. You got to play him 30-plus minutes, too. You have to do it. You have to do it. You have no choice. If you're going to continue to get what you get from Kyrie, where else are you going to get points? P.J. Washington, you expecting him to get you 20 points? It's not going to happen. They got to be better. They got to be better. That's my personal opinion. And maybe they will be. But that's what I think has to happen. So there you go, Christian. 8 free throws missed and a 7-point loss. And I'm not saying you got to make all 8 free throws. You don't have to be 100%. But don't tell me you can't make 5 or 6 more. I don't want to hear that. You're professionals. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Turnovers. Cut the turnovers in half. Luka had 8. Luka almost had a quadruple double. He almost had a quadruple double. I think finally we're getting to the point to where we're not talking about this triple-double thing being the end-all, be-all, when, again, you had a great stats, but you got 8 turnovers, man. That negates some of those assists. Don't y'all think? Because it does, in my opinion. It negates them. So, and they were bad turns, going behind his back, and I'm just like, come on, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, seriously, what are we doing? So, it is what it is, in my opinion. It is what it is. But the bottom line is, there's got to be, that adjustment has to be made. First of all, Kyrie's got to get his game going. And 2, they got to insert. They can only play one big. They got to insert Tim Hardaway. You can't have 2 liabilities on the offensive end out there on the court. You just can't. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. And it hasn't worked. And if you wake up Jason Tatum and he gets going, you have no shot. You have no shot. So it's just my personal opinion on the matter. By the way, everybody, if you're continuing to watch, make sure you click on the link in the bio and come on over to a different site that will not freeze up on you, because the one that I am directly looking at, you're about to be frozen up on. So make sure you click on the link and come on over and join Big B Daily on a different platform. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys, man. But yeah, I think it's crazy for what the Celtics are doing. I think, like I said, they tried to give the Mavs that game last night. The Mavs didn't want it. Good for Drew Holiday. He had a good game. Jaylen Brown, Porzingis. You know, it was a team effort last night. Give Drew Holiday his props, though. The man played phenomenal. Cutting to the basket, making three-pointers, playing outstanding defense. Give the man his props. You know, I was one of the few people, because there wasn't a lot of people out there. They kept saying the Celtics lost their heart and soul when they traded Marcus Smart. And I just kept telling people, I'm like, I think you're giving Marcus Smart too much credit. I'm not saying he's not a hard-nosed player. I go, but Marcus Smart is a hustle guy. That's what he is. He's a hustle guy, plays good defense. Occasionally, he might make you a shot or two. But that's what Marcus Smart is. Drew Holiday is a star. I'm not saying superstar, but Drew Holiday is a star. Drew Holiday is, first of all, I think he's a better defender than Marcus Smart. That's number one. And he is miles better offensively. Miles better offensively than what Marcus Smart ever was. And it was a huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. And then you add Porzingis on top of that. Like, they're built to win. They are built to win this title. So they got two more. I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying if the Mavs don't make the adjustments, they're not even going to win a game. I'm telling you that right now. So if they don't make any adjustments, they're not going to win a game. They're not going to win a game. So, yeah. Drew is absolutely putting the claim. He's giving Kyrie everything he wants. He's giving Luke. He's making Luka work. Luka, if y'all notice in the fourth quarter, Luka is dead tired. He is dead tired. He's having to dribble the ball up the court. They also got to make that adjustment. Let somebody else dribble the ball up the court, man. Let P.J. Washington dribble the ball up the court, because they are literally making Luka work, making Kyrie work. Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday are picking them up three-quarter court, making them work to get the ball up the court. Crazy. Crazy. The Celtics already had Marcus Smart types on their team to replace him. They didn't have a unicorn. No, they didn't have Drew Holiday on their team. They replaced Marcus Smart. They upgraded Marcus Smart for Drew Holiday. Let's not do that. I'm not even going to let anybody do that. Drew Holiday is an upgrade over Marcus Smart. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, Porzingis, don't get me wrong, Porzingis is something that they did not have. They didn't have that at all. But to say that Marcus Smart or Drew Holiday was not an upgrade over Marcus Smart, you're lying to yourself, because he was much better than Marcus Smart could ever be, man. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. So, my man Joey says, in reality, I think the Celtics have this. Mavs have to win game 3 and 4, but Mavs are not the same. No. Yes, they need to make massive changes to have a shot. Nothing to lose when you're down 2-0. Now, if you talk to some people, they will say, well, a series doesn't start until you lose a game at home. Well, if you go down 3-0, the series is over. So much less if the series doesn't start, the series is going to be over. So I would say when you're down 0-2, the series is live and real. You got to figure out a way. So, that whole cliche that, well, a series doesn't start till you lose at home. Well, you lose at home and you're down 3-0, the series is over. So it doesn't matter if it started then or not. The damn thing is over. So, here's a good point. I feel like the Mavs are confused when Luka's on the bench. Like they have no structure with their offense. Well, it isn't that. It's Kyrie's out there, but Kyrie don't have it going. So if Kyrie's not making any shots and he can't get anything going and he's not creating for anybody, and I think that's one of the things, Kyrie's not creating for anybody, and they're giving him fits. Well, if he's not creating for anybody, nobody's making any shots, which that's also the case. Nobody's making any shots. It looks difficult. It looks different. It looks weird. They know what they're doing. There's just nobody's making nothing. So nobody is making anything. And this is also a good point. Nobody's talking about how good the Celtics are on defense at every single position. That's kind of the point I was making earlier about Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, just making it tough for Kyrie and Luka just to dribble the ball up the court, making them work. Just making them work. Hell, you saw him almost get a 10-second count yesterday, and it forced a turnover. Like, yeah, man, they're doing that. They're doing that. Their defense is outstanding. It's outstanding. So, big adjustment coming. I feel like a big adjustment is coming, that Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to get inserted into the starting lineup. It seems like a desperate move, but it isn't. It's the necessary move. Like, why didn't he play last night? At some point, you've got to say, I've got to get some offense out here. I've got to get some guys out here that can make some shots. At some point, that's got to be the priority. So, at some point, they got to be able to do that. They got to be able to do that. So, we'll see. This is a great point by my man Mo Talk Sports. There are no breaks on defense for the Mavericks either. No, there's not. There's not. Even when Little Pritchard comes into the game, he puts pressure on the defense. Like, there are no breaks. And the Mavs, I mean, look, let's just keep it honest. Luka and Kyrie can't keep anybody in front of them. We know that. Luka did a decent job last night. He was fighting. But the counter move always gets Luka. It got him again. And Tatum was trying to take him off the dribble, but Luka was able to take a step back and beat him to the spot. Now, he's a lot stronger than Tatum is, and so he's able to take a step back, and Tatum wasn't making any shots. That also helps. Because if Tatum was making shots, Luka's got to take a step up. Then he's going around him from the top of the key. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. I think the series is probably over, but I'll be interested to see what the counter move from Jason Kidd is. I'll be really interested. He's fought it, and it's worked in previous series. It's not working this series. We'll see what happens. And a reminder to everybody, Tim Hardaway Jr. was the third leading scorer for the Mavs this year. So it's not like, we're just throwing this guy in to see if he can generate some offense. No, he was the third leading scorer on the team this year. So keep that in mind when we talk about, well, can he score? Can he do anything? Yeah, he could score. He could. But they got better defensively without him, so he lost his minutes in the rotation. He got to find him again. He's got to find him again. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Appreciate everybody being in here. Again, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, Big B Daily. Remember, if you love the show, want to help support the show, you know how you can do that. Follow, like, make comments outside of the video or outside of the live on the actual video. But more importantly, you can also send super chat and help control the conversation. So we appreciate you guys. Dan Hurley's making his decision today. I thought it was weird that he granted an interview to somebody after he met with the Lakers brass. I thought that was odd. I'm like, if you're trying to make this decision, why do you need to grant an interview? Just make the decision. And to me, when he says, well, they made a compelling case, everything that they said, it makes sense. If that, to me, and I could be wrong, that's leading me to say that he's not going to take the job. That's leading me to think that he's not taking the job. Because, well, if you're taking the job, why would you just, hey, man, they made him a compelling case. Yeah, what they're talking about makes sense. I mean, I don't know. And again, this could be Dan Hurley. He's a little different. So maybe this is a different way for him to deal with things. I'm questioning why you would grant an interview after you took an interview. Why would you give a reporter an interview talking about it? Just go home, make the decision that you're going to make, and then let everybody know. But to come out and say beforehand, it's almost like, yeah, what they said actually makes sense. And it kind of leads me to believe that he's setting up to say it all makes sense, but I'm really happy at UConn and I'm staying at UConn. I want to build this dynasty and see how far I can take it, which I'm not mad at. Now, the money side, I got different feelings on the money side because here's the thing. If you think about the money, first of all, it's going to be every bit of $10 million. Let's just say it's only $10 million a year. Well, he's going to get at least 5 years on a contract, probably more than that, but let's just say it's only for 5 years. Well, at UConn, he's getting $5 million a year. So you're going to double your money. You're going to double your money over that 5 years. And I know there's going to be some people out there that say, well, he's getting $25 million over 5 years. Well, you know what? He's also getting 50. And 50 million is more than 25. And yes, you can do a lot more with $50 million than you can with 25. So don't count somebody else's pockets. Don't be that. He could double his money. After 5 years of being the Lakers coach, let's just say it doesn't work out. You've made $50 million. You can also go back to college and could command at least $5 million a year from somebody there. He could do that. Maybe more. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The money-wise, if we're talking about money and maybe even career-wise, I think you take the job. But if you just want to build and just say, you know what, I am a college coach and that's it. That's all I want to be. There's something to be said for that. It doesn't always work out for everybody going to the next level. Look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban was the greatest college football coach of all time. He tried his hand at the pros, did not work out. Rick Pitino did it twice. One time it worked at the Knicks. The next time at Boston, it was a failure. He's a college coach. John Calipari, same thing. But if you think about Pitino and Calipari, they did exactly what I said do about the money. They went and got the big paydays, set themselves up for life, and then, it didn't work out. I'll go back to college where I'm really, really happy. That's the deal there. You go make that lifetime bag, and then if it doesn't work out, you move on. So that's just my assessment. I think that's what you do. But he might not, It's a good point. He loves attention. It's a good point here. He loves attention. So, and maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's what he wants. So, if he wants attention and he's going to get money. Don't get me wrong. So, if he wants the attention, I'm not sure that an NBA job is the job that you take for attention, though. I'm not sure that going to the Lakers and wanting attention, I'm not sure that's the job that you take for that reason. Because as long as LeBron James is there, the attention is not going to be on you. Now, it'll be on the team, and you're going to get all the negative attention, but he's not going to get praised if they happen to win. That's not going to happen. Or should I say it won't happen as long as LeBron doesn't give him the credit. If LeBron gives him the credit, then, yeah, that'll happen. But if LeBron don't give him credit, like with Frank Vogel, LeBron didn't give him credit, he got fired. Darvin Ham, LeBron doesn't give him credit, he got fired. I don't think either one of them should have been fired. I thought it was a colossal mistake for both, especially Frank Vogel. Hell, they blamed him because LeBron and Anthony Davis were hurt. That's not his fault. But then you fire him because those guys got hurt? Give me a break. Then Darvin Ham, same thing. You can't beat the Nuggets. You have a bad matchup with the Nuggets. Well, maybe construct your team a little bit better. Darvin Ham didn't have a hand in that. We'll see. I think he should take the job. I think Dan Hurley should take the job. I think there's something to be said. Like I said, if you want to change your life, you'll make life-changing money. And if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to college. You can always go back to college. I think he takes it. I think you go ahead and you take the money. Go take the money and see if you can make it work. Because the one thing that we do know, if it does happen to work, he'll be known, and he loves attention, he'll be known as one of the greatest coaches ever. That much I know. You win 2 national titles back-to-back at UConn, and you go build the Lakers into something with LeBron James, damn near 40 years. He will be 40 years old, and you build them into something. If they happen to win a national or a world title in the next 2 years, he'll be known as one of the greatest coaches to ever coach. And maybe, just maybe, that's what he's craving. Maybe that's what he's craving. I don't know. We'll see. So, and I'm not sure what you mean by Hurley in LA. Sorry, I don't see it. He's a New York City guy. So, a New York City guy, you don't see that guy in LA? Why don't you? You know, he coaches in UConn. He grew up in New York City. So, I mean, a New York City guy can go to LA and be just fine. He'll be just fine. And like I said, he loves the attention. That's what he's after. That is what he's after. So I think him going out there, I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll be just fine. If he wants it. If he wants it. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. Lord have mercy. Cailtin Clark all over the headlines. Lord have mercy. People are losing their mind on both sides. On both sides on why Cailtin Clark has been left off of the Olympic team. And I said it. I think I mentioned it to you guys last week. I go, let them leave Cailtin Clark off the Olympic team, and people are going to go absolutely berserk. Well, that has happened. She is gone. The people have gone berserk. She hasn't. She handled it with class and the way that she's supposed to handle everything, like she has. But should she have made the team? Let's talk about that. People are talking about, well, if you're trying to grow the WNBA, why would you leave her off? Well, number one, the Olympic Committee and the WNBA are 2 separate entities. Let's start there. Okay? Yes, you could say that it's about women's basketball and growing the game. Okay. Well, doesn't this say more about growing the game? That this person that people have wrongfully praised as being one of the greatest women's basketball players ever, they're talking about Cailtin Clark already being that, which she's proven that she's not yet. But doesn't this say that the game is more than that? Doesn't this say that, hey, there are some real competitive, really good women out here, especially at the guard position, that she is not better than? Doesn't it say that? I don't, I'm just trying to figure that out. And my whole thing, again, when you talk about putting somebody on a team or they need to be on the team, who are you going to take off? Like, who is Cailtin Clark better than that's on this list other than Chelsea Gray, who's hurt? If Chelsea Gray's 100%, she's better than Cailtin Clark. And anybody that knows anything about basketball and has eyes will be able to tell you that. So my question is, who are you going to take off? Diana Taurasi at 42? Maybe. Maybe you dismiss her. But she's got experience playing. And is Cailtin Clark better than her? I'd be willing to say she's not. But even at that, okay. And, Diana, you've been on 5 Olympic teams. maybe it's time to pass the torch to somebody else. Okay, fine. But I think there's, and I can't remember her name, but she's the second leading scorer in the WNBA. She's averaging 26 points a game. She belongs on before Caitlin Clark because let's just be honest. What Caitlin Clark brings to the table is her scoring ability. Well, she doesn't score better than her. She doesn't score better than her at all. So, what are we talking about, people? What are we talking about? Let's dig into some of these comments real quick. So, first off, looking at the roster, I don't see anyone I would take off. Maybe Taurasi, but you need her leadership and experience. Clark will have her moment. It's just not now. Exactly. My whole thing is if you're trying to grow the game, you should be able to say, you know what? We're growing the game because of all these women that you are now getting to see. Caitlin Clark brought the eyeballs, and now you see these women are physical and they are really good. They're really good basketball players, and they're better than her. Right now, they're better than her. Period. End of story. They're just better than her. Well, they should just put her out there. You know, it's not like Team USA is going to lose. They haven't lost a game since 1992. Is that what we do? We just give people, just ceremonious nominations. Just, hey, we'll give it to her. Even though she doesn't deserve it, we'll go ahead and let her be on the team. Is that what we're doing? Because I don't think that is. I don't think that's how it's done. So, my man, Pat Cockrell, I don't necessarily disagree in leaving her off because she hasn't proven anything yet. But I think if she was picked to go, so many more people would have tuned in to see her in the Olympics. So basically what we're saying is put Caitlin Clark on the team so people will watch her sit on the bench. Because that's what's going to happen. If she was on the team, she's not going to play a lot. So you want more people to watch her sit on the bench. Then people would complain that she's sitting on the bench. But I thought it was for America. If it's for America, then shouldn't we watch and root? Do you know how many people on social media have literally said, you know what, if I was Caitlin Clark, I'd go apply for a dual citizenship somewhere else and go play against America? People have said that. They've literally said that. That's what it's come down to, people. They would rather her play against America. And then, of course, you get the people, well, they don't like her because she's white, because she's straight, and they don't. Who is they? Who's they? The women on the actual Olympic team didn't pick themselves to be on the team. There's a committee. By the way, there's straight women on the basketball team. It's incredible the links that people will go to. What do they hate about her? She's not better than any of them. They hate the attention. Maybe they're a little jealous of the attention. I'll be the first to say that. But the smart ones have embraced it and said, yes, bring the attention so you can see how good I am. So it's crazy. Like I said, if people don't want to watch the Olympics and won't watch the women's basketball team play because Caitlin Clark's not on it, then too bad for them. Then they don't want to watch good basketball. You're not even interested in good basketball. The only thing that you're interested in is seeing her be there. That's all. That's all. You're just interested in seeing her being on the team. You don't have any interest in women's basketball. You don't have any interest in watching them win. You don't have any interest in how good those women actually are. You have decided that you've made it only about Caitlin Clark, and she has to be on the team. And if she is, I'll watch. If she's not, I'm not going to watch. Well, okay, then don't watch. Then just say, she's not on the team. I'm not rooting for America. That's because that's what you're saying, right? What I'm saying is more people would tune in and just watch and see the rest of the real talent in the WNBA. Well, aren't they doing that now, watching the WNBA? And secondly, we got to stop bringing the WNBA into this. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Doesn't have anything to do with it. WNBA and the Olympic Committee are two separate entities. Watch WNBA basketball or don't watch it. Watch the Olympics or don't watch it. You shouldn't, oh man, I'm going to watch the Olympics for one person that's going to sit on the bench and we're going to give her a spot on a team that she hasn't earned. Give me a break. The viewership's got to stop. Or the bump in viewership. Either you want to be a part of it or you don't, man. Or you don't. And again, I'm a person, I'm not that interested in WNBA basketball. I'm not. So I don't want you to think that I'm on the hobby horse and say that I'm watching it. I don't watch it. And I don't care if Caitlin Clark's playing. I don't care who's playing. I'm not watching. Doesn't interest me. It just doesn't. So that's just me. And you can say, well, Brian, you can call me whatever you want. I just don't think the basketball is that good. So that's why I don't watch. Period. End of story. The same reason I don't watch UFL football. You're never going to catch me watching that. Ever. I'm not watching not 1 second of it. Not 1 second of UFL football or Canadian League football. I'm not watching that. No. Call me an elitist all you want. That's fine. I like what I like. So, I like what I like. Either way, I think it was a good move to leave her off the team only because she hasn't earned it, and she's not better than the people that are on the team. You know, we can talk about the centers and all that. Just talk about the guards. She's not better than any of those women. She's just not. She's not as strong. She's not as physically strong. She plays absolutely no defense. So she's not going to bring any of that to the table because she can't guard anybody in this chat room. So she doesn't bring any of that. But she can shoot. She can score. I'll give her that. But again, there's a woman in the WNBA that's averaging 26 points a game. Lighten it up. She didn't make the team. Because again, she brings nothing to the table other than scoring ability. And they looked for more than that on the team. Sorry. It is what it is. And if for people to think otherwise, I don't even take those people seriously. So don't take them seriously. Never going to take them seriously. Hopefully you guys don't either, because it's just stupid. It's just stupid. But we'll move on, man. Let's get to the Q&A section. What do you guys got? What do you guys got going on, man? What do you guys got going on? Talking about some of this NBA Finals, Dan Hurley, Caitlin Clark, anything. Whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk some football, some NFL football? You know me. I love NFL and college football. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I'll get into any of that. By the way, just as a reminder to you guys, make sure if you're on YouTube, go and check Big 12 Insiders. I know my man Pat Cockrell comes over from time to time. Make sure you go subscribe to Big 12 Insiders on 24/7 Sports. Go make sure you go subscribe to that. Talking all Big 12 conference stuff. When football gets in here, we're going to have a bunch of different shows for you guys to see. Also, another show to check out is doing really well. Steelers Almighty. Even if you're not a Steelers fan, it is really good football content. So go check it out. Steelers Almighty on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe if you haven't already. So, but what do we got here, people? What questions do we got? My man says Metcalf to the Steelers. No chance. No chance. Excuse me. So, yeah, I don't think there's any chance that the Steelers are going to trade for Metcalf. I mean, I don't even know why. Like the Seahawks need him. So why are they trying to get rid of him? They have to pay somebody. They might as well pay him. Tyler Lockett is 32. They have Smith and Jigba. He's young. Metcalf is good. They got 3 good receivers. Just pay them all. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Here is a fun scenario, says my man Pat Cockrell. Ohio State goes 11-1 and still loses to Michigan. Does Ryan Day get fired? Yes. Absolutely. People in Ohio State are now. Hold on. Let me backtrack. At 11-1, they probably still make it into the college football playoff. So that's different than this past year. So at 11-1, they're going to get into the college football playoff. And if they do some damage in the college football playoff, then I would say no. But if they lose to Michigan, go 11-1, and then lose in the first round of the college football playoff, yeah, he'll be fired immediately. He'll be fired the next day. So, yes, it's context matters a little bit there, but that's a great question. And I think if they go 11-1, lose to Michigan, and lose in the first round of the college football playoff, yeah, Ryan Day will be fired on that Sunday. On that Sunday, the very next day, he will be gone. So your Steelers are not getting one last wideout? Yeah, we're going to get a wideout. It's just not going to be Metcalf. There's plenty of other options out there. Plenty of other options. They could trade for Debo. They're not going to trade for Ayuk and give them all that money. But they could trade for Debo. They could trade for Cortland Sutton, which I think is actually what's going to happen. They could also sign Michael Thomas. I mean, there's a plethora of options for the Steelers. Plethora of options. And they probably need to utilize one. So let's see here. Whoops. So Rasheed Rice said, Mo Talk Sports, Big B, I saw Rasheed Rice did a little interview this past weekend and said he'll use his offseason as a learning experience. I hope he grows and becomes a better man. Yeah, because he's doing kid-like behavior. First time he's probably ever had real money and doing stuff that got caught. Let's be honest. How many people went out there and raced a friend in a car? I mean, how many people did that? Now, we didn't do it in vehicles that could go 150 miles an hour, but plenty of us were out there racing cars. Not saying it's the smartest thing. And yes, it's being magnetized even more because of who he is. And basically that's it. Well, sometimes there's bigger consequences to certain stuff. But yeah, I hope he gets better. And I think he's probably learning, you know what? I just can't do everything that I want to do. I just can't. Getting into that confrontation at a club. Hey, man, again, where are your boys? Where are they? He needs to get better boys. That's what Rasheed Rice needs to do. He needs to get better. Hey, man, you can't go racing no car. I'm sorry. You can't go race no car. End of story. You got too much to lose. You're not racing. Hey, man, let me fight this guy. Matter of fact, I'm swinging on this guy right now. You back up. Where are his boys? Yeah, he got to get a better entourage. Got to get a better entourage. They're letting him down. His entourage. Think about his entourage and think about Ohtani's entourage. Ohtani's entourage lied and is willing to go to federal prison for him. Think about that. That's what his entourage is doing. He lied and is willing to go to federal prison for him. Rasheed Rice won't even punch a guy, won't even punch an over-aggressive photographer at a nightclub. Get out of here. You got to get a better entourage, man. You got to get a better entourage. So that's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. Pat Cockrell says the game of the year, honestly, Ohio State at Oregon. I don't know if it's the game of the year, but it'll be a great game. It'll be a great game. I don't think Oregon's going to be as good as what people think they are. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's see. What else do we got? Is Jerry going to do the right thing and re-sign Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, or is Jerry going to Jerry and re-sign Dak to $60 million a year? Well, here's what I will say. He hasn't re-signed Dak yet, and Dak is in the last year of his contract. The other two are not. So I think Jerry is saying, if we can't win with Dak, then we're not going to re-sign him. Now, CeeDee Lamb is going to sit out mini camp, and and maybe both of them sit out mini camp and they show up to training camp and they just show up and sit, whatever, so they don't get fined because it's a lot of money. They changed the rules now. If you sit out, you get fined. It's upwards of like $90,000 a day, something crazy. So you can lose a ton of money by sitting out training camp. But they may choose to do that because they don't have a new deal. But I'm not signing Dak if I'm Jerry. I wait. I'm like, look, and I think that's part of this. It's because he's like, look, we can't re-sign you to a huge deal because if Dak goes out and we play the way that we're capable and he goes out and we make it to a Super Bowl, we need him as our quarterback. We need him. But if we don't do that, then I'll give you guys all the money in the world because Dak won't be here any longer, and we'll be back in the draft looking for a quarterback or going somewhere else looking for a quarterback. So I think that's part of it. If Dallas was smart and they wanted to just move on from Dak, they should have just traded him. You can't cut him because you'd have all that dead money, but you could have traded him post June 1st. You saved a ton of money. But I think they're wanting to wait and see because, again, Dak Prescott is not a horrible quarterback. He's not. He's not horrible. He may not be the best, but he ain't horrible. So, switching gears, Motalk says Alabama, Georgia is game of the year, but they're not playing this year. The only game I think would be in the SEC championship, correct? They're not on each other's schedule. Now, granted, I may be wrong, so if I am wrong, please let me know. But I don't believe they're on the schedule to play each other this year. So, Dak, quack, quack. But yeah, I mean, if Alabama and Georgia don't play, we'll see. We'll see. SEC championship game. I'm just ready for football. I'm sorry. I'm just ready for football. I am over all of this. So, I am over all of this. That's all. Somebody over here saying Taurasi doesn't want her on the team. That's stupid. But whatever. Sorry, brother. Steelers are trash. Okay. A team that hadn't had a losing season in 17 years is trash. One of the dumber statements out there, but people will say anything on the internet. That's where they come to be important, I guess. I don't know. It's always something. We're going to shut this one down for today, people. Appreciate everybody being here, man. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, again, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, Big B Daily Show. I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. Thank you, guys, and aloha.